Well, welcome everybody back to White Sands Self Care. I know it's been a little bit since we've been on here, but it's an important topic because diabetes and obesity, which is known as diabesity, is like the number one, I believe, number one growing chronic problem that plagues America, other countries, and stuff as well. But it's just a growing concern. And I am so excited to have Dr. George Grant with me here. We've been working side by side together for a while now, but mostly because he is very knowledgeable and in this area. You know, he's a biofeedback, he's toxicologist, he's got three masters, three bachelors, and he's never done learning. And he takes a lot of pride in helping people across the world to take control of their health. Um, and I wanted to bring him here because he is the one that introduced me to the AO voice scan and has helped me to help people. So, Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Laura, for the invitation. Really appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, tell us more because I know not everybody's familiar with the term diabesity. People know either diabetes or they know obesity, but explain to them more about why this is becoming such an issue and why it's called diabesity now.
It's a growing concern right now, Laura, not just in America and Canada and Europe, but all over the world. See, I was the first scientist in the world to indicate that dementia is type 3 diabetes. I've done early research. In my three doctorate degrees, as you mentioned, three masters and three bachelors, I'm just addicted to learning. I will stop learning in my last breath. So I'm just 75 and I know I look younger. Thanks very much. It's uh, it's all to do with learning and keeping up to date with literature. So I keep myself abreast with any new information about integrative medicine, functional medicine, lifestyle medicine, toxicology, microbiology. This is really my main specialty here. So I focus on this. I learn daily papers that are coming up and so on. And I do post on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, but my passion is to prevent the disease, not to mask it with symptoms. We need to find the root cause. Why? Because diabetes is the main cause to lose my parents, especially my mom at 45 when I was 18 years young. She had diabetes, chronic diabetes and obesity, and so is my dad, and so is my grandparents who died in the mid 50s. So my biggest passion and goal in life, Laura, not to have a teenager at age 18 losing their mom and losing the grandparents. I never see my grandparents. I don't know what they look like.
Right.
And it's really a passion for me to prevent and reverse diabetes and obesity. We call it diabetes now, which almost surpassed heart disease and cancer and all of these diseases now because it's just, especially in we look in the southern US like Texas, Louisiana. If you don't believe me, just go to Mardi Gras in Louisiana every Tuesday and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I see what they eat there. So the best way to prevent and reverse diabetes is to look at the root cause. See, uh, unfortunately, physician and endocrinologists who specialize in diabetes, they focus on managing the symptoms, not finding the root cause of the disease. So you cannot manage diabetes with metformin, glyburide, lactose, and insulin without finding the root cause, which is basically lifestyle issues. I'm sure you and I understand. We have to really look at the lifestyle issues here, Laura, which is not just the main cause for diabetes, but it is the main cause for Alzheimer, for Parkinson's, for anxiety and stress. All of these kind of, we can name any chronic illness and you can find the root cause of it is lifestyle issues. So, how do we prevent these conditions? Focus on lifestyle issues. Nothing, there's absolutely nothing can fix obesity, including Ozempic, including any GLP-1, including any of the stuff that doctors now tell you, just get injection of Ozempic and you're going to be fine. You're going to be losing weight. Yes, you may lose weight after you stop Ozempic and GLP-1, then the weight is going to come back. So the biggest challenge here is to focus on prevention, not intervention, self-care instead of crisis care. You know, Laura, we spend between 2 cents and 5 cents on prevention and 95 cents on intervention. And we do not talk about self care. We talk about crisis care. If you got some problems, go to the emergency. Take this X and Y, Z medications. Like some people do not realize that diabetes and obesity, we call it diabetes now, is a lifestyle issues. We need to fix lifestyle. How? Very simple. Go to academyofwellness.com and complete lifestyle quiz. 10 questions. It takes you 2 minutes. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And then go under blogs and you're going to see blogs on diabetes and obesity and so on. And there is one blog that's the first one called Detox Water. Now, Laura is expert in this blog because she has actually modified the blog to make it better than what I put it initially, because it talks about adding all of the, lemon, apple cider vinegar, baking soda, turmeric, ginger, all of the cinnamon and turmeric and ginger and cayenne pepper. And I added now magnesium, which is one of the essential ingredients now into this detox water. So Laura, now being very creative and better than her professor, she put all of the dry ingredients together in a creative fashion, and then she mixed them, and then she makes from the liquid lemon and the apple cider vinegar ice cubes. Oh, what a genius woman this is! So how long
Well,
it?
now I also learned that we need to be soaking our vegetables, fruits and vegetables, for 10 minutes in warm water with apple cider vinegar and baking soda. So, to be clear, even though those have thick skins, because I put the lemons through the juicer, I do soak those first to make sure I get the
Absolutely,
pesticides and everything off of them first. But because I don't know about you, but I don't go through that many lemons the way they come packaged to
yes,
keep them fresh. So I learned that from somebody else. It's like I juice them and I freeze them in little ice cubes and you pop them out.
that's the best way. And that you're very smart because soaking any vegetables, even organic, for 15 minutes. After that, you rinse them for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That's a best way to get rid of pesticides. It is number one cause, not only for diabetes, but for Parkinson's, for dementia, Alzheimer, any chronic illness, even heart disease, myocardial infarction, come from exposure to pesticides. So if you like golfing, you go to the golf course, which is sprayed with pesticides. You better be watching. I think there's some organic golf courses now, Laura, in the States. It's not very common, but you're gonna find one. So, because if you live close to 1 mile from any golf course, you're 125% more prone to any of this chronic illness I just mentioned. Just exposure to glyphosate and Roundup and all of the methanoxidants and all of the other pesticides used in our vegetables and fruits, and like you get a highly likely chance. So please do not live close to a golf course. And if you play golf,
Well, you can't avoid everything everywhere because I live in a very rural area. So I have farms, I have
yes,
cows, I have everything around me. If you're in
yeah,
North Dakota where they're growing things, you know that stuff's
yeah,
getting sprayed.
yeah.
So you can't, yeah, you can't avoid everything, but
You cannot avoid it, but you can deal with it because actually farmers' exposure to pesticides are the most likely people to have diabetes and Parkinson's and all of the other chronic illness, because daily exposure, especially they don't cover their hands and they inhale the vapor of the pesticides. I mean, there's lots of pesticides that have been banned now, DDT and Lindane and all of the other stuff. Did you know, Laura, that in a newborn baby they found 250 chemicals, including pesticides, as soon as they deliver from the mothers? Like they started life with
wow.
250 chemicals. And if they get breastfed, which we recommend highly, from a mother who is exposed to pesticides, exposed to all of those chemicals, it's dangerous, even though breastfed is the best way instead of formulas. But now you get the exposure. Like, why would any child start their life with 250 chemicals? By the way, I'm a toxicologist, so
Mhm.
I focus on my research on toxicology to find out if somebody exposed to any toxic chemicals in the water, in the soil, in the air, in the vegetables, in the fruit, in even in the shrimp and lobster and I'm sure you know the sushi, the raw fish. It has all of the parasites and pesticides that anybody. So we try to minimize the exposure. Like if you live in a farm, just try to minimize the exposure. If you live in a house, try to minimize the exposure in water. So make sure you drink filtered water, reverse osmosis or alkaline water or whatever it is, to minimize the exposure to any of these pesticides and chemicals in the water. And if you go for a golf course, make sure it's only like once a week and like Maybe you can Google something: golf courses with no pesticides, organic golf courses. I'm sorry, you're gonna find
I'm
some.
not a golfer, so I don't know how many of those exist. So, but you never
Anyways,
know. Everybody's making little steps to make improvements to
absolutely.
things, and
Maybe,
really, it's just adjusting.
yeah,
The way we live and what we do things. A lot of people look at it as like, well, then I'm not enjoying my life. It's like you can still enjoy life and make
yes,
these changes. It's just
yes,
it's change, and as we know, a lot of people
yes.
don't like change.
As long as you're aware of prevention versus intervention and self-care instead of crisis care, Laura, you're absolutely correct. You cannot avoid 100% of all of the toxic substance around us. It's impossible, especially if you're in New York, if you live in LA, and like in Texas. I mean, it's very obvious that you're going to be in the environment
Mhm.
that produce this chronic illness. But some people look at illnesses. Unfortunately, the mainstream medicine, they look at dementia and Alzheimer and Parkinson's as a brain disease or pancreas disease. It is not. It's a whole body disease. It's the whole body here that produces. It's the whole lifestyle. We got to focus on lifestyle. That is what we talk about in our podcast today about prevention. So the first step here, people go through the lifestyle quiz. It's free, and then go through what we actually, you and I, have been doing now for to help many people now to identify the red flag. It's a virtual voice scan. It's like some sort of like a biofeedback scan to scan your voice. And then some of the viewers now are gonna say, scanning voice? Really? Really? Yes. The voice energy and voice frequency is based on Albert Einstein. Everybody know what his work, AMC square. Everything in life is energy. E stands for energy.
Yep.
I'm from
Right frequencies, Nikola Tesla, it's got it
Nikola
all
Tesla
the
also.
technologies. Yep.
Exactly. So the device that Laura and I are using actually has built-in Tesla coil and Rife frequency. Dr. Royal Rife with through his drive frequency helps so many people with his drive frequency. So when you actually give this to people, the scan, it takes only 15 seconds through the voice to measure the voice energy, voice frequency, voice vibration, and it takes 2 minutes to analyze the voice through Nikola Tesla coil and through Rife frequency. We detect and correct all of the vibration in the voice. We come up with 300 pages of accurate reports. And people, when they see it, I got only three words: wow, wow, and wow. Because when people look at this with 98% correlation to any CBC blood test, MRI, PET scan, CT scan, ultrasound, ECG, AKG, echocardiogram, and X ray, 98% correlation, 300 pages, in 35 minutes or 40 minutes maximum. Sometimes Laura is very generous. She spent a whole hour with a client. Okay, let's say it's an hour and you get 300 pages of report. When you go to any physician across the world, not just in America, you get only 2 pages: the blood test and a prescription. That is not a good idea, because we have to make sure to focus on prevention, not intervention, self care instead of crisis care. So we do have to care about people. But once you give these clients 300 pages of report, we're not doing diagnosis, we're doing only wellness assessment and education. And when Laura meet with her clients, with her good heart, she tell them, you've got to follow your lifestyle. Do this lifestyle quiz. Among my 80,000 clients worldwide, 40,000 actual clients that I've seen in the past 50 years. Yes, I'm 75. And in 5 decades, I've seen 40,000 clients, and I have 40,000 on social media. Half of them are on LinkedIn, and the other half on Facebook and Instagram and X and so on. Just to explain to you, Laura, what I've been doing for the 5 decades. Here's an example of one case that I've seen. This guy had 98% clogged arteries,
Mhm.
and he was taking 28 prescription medications. He'd done two bypass, two stents to resolve his 99% clogged arteries. The definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, keep doing whatever you're doing for 28 years and expecting different results. His actual situation was getting worse and worse. In 1998, they sent him to hospital. They told him, listen, we cannot do anything more for you. In 3 months, I'm expecting you to basically kick the bucket, which means you're going to die in 3 months. Okay.
Mhm.
So he was referred to me by one of my co-authors. I've written books with so many people. And I told him what I can do here. He's taking all of the meds. He told me, check his lifestyle. So I said, sir, what are you eating for breakfast? Oh, nothing, doc, just bacon and eggs. I said, what? Eating bacon and eggs and you have 99% clogged arteries and you've done two bypass and two stents? He said, I like the smell of it. I like the taste of it. I said, "You doing it for a year too?" He said, "No, for 20 years." I said, "You've been eating 20 years, 6 strips of bacon and 3 eggs fried in the bacon fat? You gotta stop." They said, "Well, I like it. What do I eat instead?" I said, "You can eat anything else except this thing. Steel cut oats, porridge, vegetables, fruit, like anything except what you're doing right now." I said, "I don't like this stuff. I like my." I said, "Okay, sir, you're dying in 3 months. You're destined for death. So either listen to me or you want to change your lifestyle." And I asked him second question, how much water do you drink? "I don't like water. I drink diet soda." I said, "Sir, you cannot drink diet soda when you have 5 medication for diabetes." It's so, he said, it's FDA approved. I said, "I work for the FDA myself." Actually, Laura, I worked for the FDA and CDC for 10 years in Health Canada. FDA approved does not mean FDA safe. You have to get this in your head. Diet soda is not good for diabetics. He said, "My doctor said it's safe." I said, "Do not do diet soda. Drink water." "I don't like water." I said, "Just squeeze a bit of lemon apple cider vinegar and put a little bit of honey in it. Try it." And he started to use it. Guess what, Laura? Six
Yep.
months later, no meds, no bypass, no stents. We did the initial scan for him. We found some problems and we detected the root cause, which is lifestyle. He's 50% in less than 6 months, 50% open from 99%. Doctor took him out of all of them. We don't take anybody off meds, or we do not recommend that. We just manage that with them. No meds, no bypass, no stents. He is now 104, Laura, and he inspired me to write this book, how to actually live to the 101, even with taking 28 medications.
And that's impressive. When you're given 3 months to live, the hospital and the doctors have
Yes,
given up on you
yes,
years ago, and they would have done it, but with guidance and maybe a little gentle pushing,
yes,
which I know we really don't push, but if people really want to make that change, they can make the changes. And for him to be 104 today is
yes,
just incredible and amazing. But
yes,
that's something you and I always talk about with people
yes,
too, because we do need the right supplements, because there's no way for us to get all the nutrients and supplements and minerals that we need in our food today because of the way
you got it.
everything's processed and grown.
100%.
However, yeah,
Yes,
it also is changes in your lifestyle, changes in your
yes,
environment,
yes,
attitude, mental,
that's it.
your mindset. It's an all encompassing thing. You can't just
Yes,
fix one and expect everything else to go.
yes. And Laura, if you think this is very, very amazing story, this guy here had 100% clogged. And the other guy told him 3 months. This guy
Wow.
told him 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Don't come back. We cannot do anything for you. We've taken 20 meds and so on. And that was 25 years ago. He's still
Mhm.
alive today by fixing his lifestyle. And as you said, fixing lifestyle first. Number two, took the supplement I recommended for him and you recommended for him by fixing his cells. Did you know that when somebody asked me, "What are you doctor of?" I said, "I'm specializing in integrative medicine, functional medicine, lifestyle medicine, but I'm truly specializing as being mitochondria specialist." People say, "What? What kind of specialist is this?" I said, "I focus on mitochondria." And he said, "What is that?" I said, "It's an organelle in every cells in your body. There is more organelle, there's more mitochondria in your brain and in your heart and your gut than anywhere else in your body." And as you know, Laura, gut health is brain health.
Mhm.
And if you're under stress, you're sympathetic. Like this guy here was under immense, immense, immense stress from his job, from his
Yeah.
social life, and so on. He's still alive today. He's above 100 today from being dead in 3 weeks. Anyway, we're not here to claim that we can get somebody from dying in 3 weeks to live to the age of 100, as long as they focus on prevention, not intervention, self-care and self-crisis care, and focus on basically following a healthy lifestyle and focusing on their stress. Because when we're under stress, we focus on sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, fright, freeze, high cortisol. High cortisol alone can cause any chronic illness that you can imagine in the pharmacopoeia.
Right.
But if you reduce cortisol by following parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, digest, laugh, take a deep breath, drink some water and relax, that's how you become parasympathetic. No wonder you and I were focused on that parasympathetic so that we can live a healthy lifestyle. Because if you live in parasympathetic lifestyle, you enhance your vagus nerve, and your vagus nerve control everything in your body from head to toe. So common sense, but when we do the scan, we detect how healthy the person's stress is. We can measure all of the neurotransmitters. I don't need to tell you about my bio, Laura. You already know that I was the first Canadian scientist to isolate and do test for endorphins, beta endorphins, at the Faculty of Pharmacy in Saskatchewan,
Right.
1981, before you were born. So we did this research with two other bright scientists, Dr. Wayne Hindmarsh, the Dean of Pharmacy in Saskatchewan, and also Dr. Sankaran, the chief pediatrician at the Faculty of Medicine in the pediatric units. So we studied this endorphins on kids who have SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, and we did all of the published research on this. So I tell you something, Laura, that your average person does not know. If you improve endorphins, you reduce pain. If you increase endorphin, you reduce cortisol. If you increase endorphins, you actually increase dopamine. If somebody have Parkinson, they put them on dopamine. If they have somebody have any kind of conditions, they put them on L-dopa, dopamine. So if you want to increase your dopamine naturally, you do not need L-dopa. All you got to do now is just increase your endorphins. How do you increase your endorphins? How you reduce
Oh,
your
I know you have a very special or a very favorite way of increasing endorphins. So go
tell
ahead.
us about it. Okay, go ahead. Tell us about it. Go ahead.
You always like to say laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, absolutely. Laughter increase endorphins. Exercise increase endorphins. So when you laugh, and then when you exercise, when you do some deep breathing, you increase endorphins. That means you reduce pain. What a concept, Laura! Because how many people have pain and inflammation? Like, would you estimate to be what 90% of the whole population in the world have some sort of minor or major inflammation?
Oh
Just
yeah.
just increase your endorphins.
I've worked to get mine down because I fell in the end of August and the
Yeah,
swelling is down, but it's still not I'm still not totally recovered because I can
yeah.
only bend my wrist so far, but it's getting there.
That's wonderful. I know you're a belly breather. I know
Mhm.
you're gonna become a belly dancer one of those days.
That would be new to my dance repertoire, but yes.
But it's a simple tip, Laura, is people just have to relax, stop and smell the roses, laugh, deep breathe, drink the water, and then avoid any exposure to mercury, lead, in pesticides, organophosphate and linden, and all of the other pesticides. And then once you actually reduce the exposure to all of these toxic chemicals in your house, in your vegetables, in your fish. If you eat farmed fish, you have toxic chemicals there. If you eat farmed fish, please do not avoid any farmed fish. Avoid any shrimp or lobster because they're bottom feeders in the ocean. And avoid, please, no more raw fish like sushi. Avoid that at all costs. It's full of parasites and pesticides and so on. So common sense approach is so uncommon for people and so uncommon for practicing physician, unfortunately. But now we have specialists like my friend Dr. Mark Hyman at Cleveland Clinic, who study functional medicine. He said everything to do with gut and brain health. So if you listen to Mark Hyman and listen to all of his podcasts, I'm going to actually post something today about his interview with two the top neurologists in the whole USA. I'm going to post this on my website under blogs. By the way, Laura, there's 375 blogs on my website. I'm expecting all of your viewers to read all of them before they go to bed tonight. I'm just
There's his website again, right there. He does
yes,
have the blogs and the wellness the wellness IQ quiz, the lifestyle IQ quiz,
and the
and
detox
as
water.
well as the detox water recipe. There's a lot of good information on there.
Yes,
And, something I wanted to tell you about Dr. Grant, because it's been a minute since you and I have conversed and talked. It's like I've told people, this is not anything against, Western medicine or our doctor systems. It has its place, but they only know what they know and they're taught in their areas. I have had recent conversations with people and, they if you're open to other things, because Eastern and the stuff that we're talking about, holistic healing and the fact that you can heal yourself, has been around for thousands of years. It's just not stuff that we were ever taught.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so it breaks my heart when I have people coming to me telling me that, well, my doctor says I have severe neuropathy, nerve damage, and that there's nothing you can do about that. And they just keep
Yes,
throwing drugs at them to manage the pain.
yeah,
It's like your nerves can regenerate,
yes,
especially when you can make lifestyle changes. And I know people that have changed it, but because the doctors in the certain situations are not aware of that,
yeah.
they are telling people and telling their patients that, oh no, there's nothing you can do. You're once your nerves are shot, that's it.
Exactly. And this is polypharmacy, 28 meds. Uh, Please, nobody, no medication, not one or two or 10 or 28 can fix any problems. you got to focus on lifestyle. You got to focus on finding the root cause instead of
Mhm.
masking symptoms. So you and I focusing on the root cause. Laura. uh,
Oh, because they're Band-Aid fixes, really. All
yeah,
they're doing is
exactly,
helping us to manage the pain to
exactly,
function, but the problem is they're killing another part of your body,
exactly, causing
and
more side effects. Exactly.
then you have more damage, more drugs, and it's an
Yes.
endless loop.
That's why my friend Dr. Mark Hyman recommending to Congress today to educate the new physicians now on integrative functional lifestyle medicine and to put more nutrition and toxicology in the medical curriculum. Because if they study just like maybe 10 hours nutrition and 10 hours toxicology, they're not going to rush into giving Tylenol, aspirin, and Advil and all of the other medication for diabetes and obesity. Because before they actually, I would encourage your viewers and listeners, before you take any medication, study the side effect. So go to PubMed, go to your library, go to Google even, Dr. Google, and put Ozempic side effect, um, any metformin side effect, statin side effect for cholesterol. And if you read the side effect, I can guarantee you, as toxicologist myself, you will not take the medication because side effect exceed the benefits.
Yes,
So
I can attest to those side effects because my fiance is a type 2 diabetic, and it's taken us some years, but I got him down to one medication. I mean, I had a good start on it, and we were doing there. But since I met with you and we have the AO scan and we've learned even more, and I've learned more about clean eating, and there's things we can change. We've made even greater improvements. So to have him down to one medication, as a matter of fact, even recently he had gotten an infection in the fourth toe, which infectious disease was convinced that we only had a 30% chance. And we went ahead and we did the IV antibiotics for him, but I made sure I gave him two fluorophies, one in the morning, one in the evening, which is pre and probiotics, because I knew I had to counteract that. So his blood work stayed great. And it showed, and the only reason we knew the infection was there was because they said when it shows in an x-ray, then you know it's really deep in the bone. So they did another x-ray, not an MRI, because I didn't want the dyes going into him, but a next x-ray, and it is not showing the infection anymore. He didn't lose his toe. So there is a lot that you can do. You just have to
absolutely,
take control
absolutely.
and make the changes.
If somebody have diabetes, like Laura was saying here, just go ahead. And if you, most people have diabetes and obesity, they suffer from constipation. And when they suffer from constipation, they take something over the counter called X-Lax to produce diarrhea, which is not that, like what Laura was saying here. She gave her fiance pre, pro, and postbiotics, and she gave him magnesium. If you give somebody with constipation these four things here, there is no constipation, and they have 3 to 4 bowel movements per day. Laura, I had a client. She was going to the bathroom once a week. I said, "How many times do you eat a day?" She said, "Three meals and three snacks." I said, "If you eat 6 meals per day and then you go to the bathroom once a week, where do those meals and snack go?" She looked at me and said, "Yeah, where do they go, doc?" I said, "They go nowhere. They're stuck here." they form like
Oh,
that.
I have lived through that because of the stress of being in basic
Yes,
training in
yes,
the Air Force and having someone yell in my face. And the whole
exactly.
flight was on X-Lax, and even that didn't help you go. So
No,
it caused problems. Then when you
yeah.
have someone telling you are literally full of because it has nowhere to go, that's an issue.
So what I
I will
did,
tell you
Laura,
that's an issue.
I, I gave her what you just said, the pre, pro, and postbiotics, the magnesium. She called me back after 1 week, 7 days. "Doc, I'm having a moving experience." Said, "You moved from your condo?" Said, "No, no, no. I go to the bathroom now twice or 3 times a day." Could you imagine somebody going to the bathroom once a week? Now they go 2 to 3 times a day. Can you imagine the feeling? Like how light they would feel?
Well, they'll feel lighter, that's for sure.
Exactly.
They'll feel lighter for sure. But yeah, if it's funny what we get, I shouldn't say it's funny, but it's amazing how we get used to things and we keep saying, "Oh, that's just the way it is now," or and we keep accepting it, but it's not, and it doesn't have to be. It has nothing to do with age or you getting older. It has to do with the things that you're doing.
But by focus on prevention, not intervention, and self care instead of crisis care, you and I do the AO virtual voice scan. AO stands for Alpha and Omega. And according to
Before and
Hahnemann,
after. Yep.
it's analyze and optimize. So we analyze and optimize. For instance, when we measure this voice, we get something called vital scans. This vital scans actually has about 100 pages 90 to 100 pages reports to show all of the chakras. What is chakras? Is the Indian medicine, Ayurvedic medicine in this body, right there in front of you. Here are the seven main chakras. So wherever this person is, they are very healthy because they have more green than red.
Oh, that
It's
is me. This is mine.
you are very healthy, Laura, because one single red, most of my clients, they have lots of double reds,
Oh,
which
I will
means
just say it's even better now. There are no reds in it right now. But
it's
that
amazing.
actually that was one was from so these pictures that I'm going to share with you, they are mine and they're from when I first met you in November.
Yes,
And I'm going to show you this one and see if you can remember what you asked me when you saw this one.
sure. Oh my goodness. Yes. Have you had any TMJ or injury in your in your lower jaw? Yeah.
And keep in mind, this was from 10 seconds of my voice.
Yes.
And he asked me if I've ever been told I grind my teeth or try
Yes.
and grind my teeth at night. I said, yes. Do you wear a night guard? I said, no. But I know when I was getting stressed and stuff because I would get headaches. I could feel the pain. And I still have the issue of I can make my jaw pop. And I know you've showed me some things to help get rid of
Yes.
that. But
Yes.
that does not show up anymore. So,
You see,
because
you fix
all
it.
my chakras are green. So, when you can balance yourself out and you can be more even, there's a lot of things you can do and go
Absolutely.
away.
So you and I detected, and with this wellness assessment, the root cause. We do not mention the word diagnosis. I work for the FDA and CDC, and diagnosis is a dirty word. So I'm not going to do even.
Mhm,
I'm not going to even. Although I have three doctorate degrees. The first one, University of Toronto, 25 years ago, and I have two other doctorate in integrated functional lifestyle medicine. I can do that legally, but I don't want to do anything. I do like Laura assessment, and I also do education about the clients from the red flag that we've seen. So when we check the chakra, as I showed you from the Ayurvedic medicine, and we see three or four double reds, the chakras are the basically circuit breaker in your body to show what is going on in your body. So if you have three or four, if you have everything red flag in your body, your chakras are all red, you're walking dead. Basically,
mhm.
you're waiting for an accident to happen here, like the people that I just showed you here. But
And
now
then
we
there's the meridians because it goes over the meridians
And
too.
then we go to that Chinese medicine called meridians, and these are the wires that conduct electricity. And that was Laura back 6 months. Actually, it's almost like a year now. And next month's going to be a year.
It is almost a year. It is
Almost a
almost
year
a
now
year,
next
and
month. So,
those are all gone now.
yes. And
Mhm.
1 year later, Laura actually studying her doctorate degree now virtually with me, and she's going to be Dr. Laura Cross. And watch her now. It's not about the title. It's about studying 10 online courses and doing a thesis. And her thesis is going to be how to actually fix anybody's cells, tissues, organs, and system from the bottom up. Actually, before cells is the mitochondria. So mitochondria, cells, tissues, organ, and system. This is her thesis is going to be how to fix from the bottom up, not from the top down. So we need for every specialist, like a cardiologist for the heart, nephrologist for the kidney, to study more than you know a neurologist from the head up. Study from what's from the head down. Study the gut. Study all of this mitochondria. Yeah, if you have dysfunctional mitochondria, you have every chronic illness in the world. If you have healthy mitochondria, you have high energy because mitochondria is the powerhouse, is actually the powerhouse to produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy that our body needs every second. And if you meet somebody with chronic fatigue, how are you today? It's not too bad. It's Friday.
Like you going into a food coma or you hit a wall. Yeah,
TGIF.
yeah.
Thank God it's Friday. You know what, Laura? My Mondays are magnificent. My Tuesdays are terrific. Every day is amazing. I have high energy like you. And you know what? It's a gift when you wake up in the morning because you're above ground, not underground. You have to be grateful and you have to focus on really the PMS and not the women stuff that get every month, the physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. This is the triangle here
Mhm.
about total well-being. Focus on your lifestyle, preventing disease. So when we get the this test here called virtual voice scan, you can do it with Laura. You're gonna get the basically the chakras, all of the circuit breaker in your body, and then you're gonna get the meridians, all of the wires in your body conducting electricity. The more red flag you got, like if you got everything here all red, there's no energy conducted. You have chronic fatigue, and you have what's called fibromyalgia, and then you've got autoimmune disease like MS. By the way, I was the first scientist actually to have a conference in Ottawa when I was working for Health Canada. I asked them for a $1 million grant to invite every scientist, every doctor in the world to come to Ottawa in Canada to talk about fibromyalgia, MS, lupus, and Lyme disease as autoimmune disease. Because before that conference in the early 90s, they were giving fibromyalgia and MS clients basically antidepressant medication like Prozac, amitriptyline, and Xanax, and they are not depressed. They are depressed because they have autoimmune disease. So as soon as we finish this conference, it talk about autoimmune disease. It's a function of the thymus that makes your T cells and NK cells, the function of the spleen that makes your white blood cells, and the function of the whole body that control the autoimmune system. Once the doctors conclude with this in the conference in the early 90s, every doctor in the world now know how to treat fibromyalgia, MS, lupus, thanks to this conference, and thanks for me putting the effort to put this conference together in the early 90s. My goodness, that is almost like 35 years ago. Laura, can you imagine this?
Yeah, because I know a lot of people look at those as like a death sentence and that there's
That's
nothing you
sentence.
can do about it, but I know you can because I have a friend that has had MS since 1987, and she's
Humans.
very much into the holistic
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff and has been able to reverse a lot of the damage and stuff. Not to say it hasn't flared up here and there, but then again, that's normally because of something life's thrown at her and they went back into an old habit instead of,
I,
making other changes.
Absolutely. I have many clients with MS and fibromyalgia, and they have severe chronic pain, everything in their body. 3 to 6 months, Laura, they walk to me again, and there's absolutely not cane, there's no cane, no wheelchair for MS. And this is uncommon because people in have MS, a wheelchair for life. But now, 3 to 6 months, none of this stuff by fixing the mitochondria,
Mhm.
fixing the cells, tissues, organs, system, detecting the root cause, do the belly breathing. We are the first scientists in the world also to say that fibromyalgia is tissue hypoxia, lack of oxygen. So we've published 3 papers on that in the literature. I published only 400 papers. It doesn't matter. You don't have to read all of them. But you know what? If this is the case, we can just everybody with autoimmune disease to do some 10 belly breath every hour, Laura, and reverse any autoimmune disease and take the all of the supplement that support the immune system.
Oh, and I
It,
can tell you that works too, because I can tell when my fiance has not been practicing his deep belly breaths because then he will start to snore. Otherwise, all
yes,
that snoring goes away.
exactly. And deep belly
And
breath,
that's
by
and
the
deep
way,
belly breaths is cheaper than buying the sleep number bed, so you can just set his head up to
yeah,
make him
exactly.
stop to make him stop snoring.
And can you imagine deep belly breath not only stop snoring and sleep apnea, it'll stop dementia and Alzheimer because the brain needs oxygen.
Yes.
Simple, simple concept. But some neurologists even not get this idea. They don't get it. Okay, so you know what you and I do detecting the root cause. So when we do the vital, you're gonna find the health of every organ in your body, the function, the healthy mitochondria first, and then the healthy cells, tissues, and then systems, and then organ. We'll find, so it'll show you all of this thing in the vitals report. It'll go through everything. It'll show you how health, and then it'll show you red flag in this cells, red flag in this tissues system, and it will show the cause of inflammation. It will all of this stuff shown right there in front of you, so you can understand and you can give this to your physician. But I would beg you, and please, if you show this to any physician in Canada or US, do not tell them it's done through the voice scan because they're gonna say, "What kind of whoa is this?" It's technically valid. The company that developed this is called Solex, Solex, and in fact, they have a conference call every single Wednesday, which is today at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and there's Solex LLC on YouTube. Just go and see what other scientists and doctors like myself, toxicologists, and integrative functional lifestyle doctors who talk about this to detect the root cause. Because in the vital scan alone, we get 100 pages. We get how health is everything. We get all of the toxicity in the body, how much allergy they have. People, like when I done this to Laura, she could not even understand. Am I allergic toward cow's milk? Are you kidding me? Am I allergic toward this? She could not
Oh, I
understand.
don't I don't I don't drink cow's milk, but there's other things that I have allergies to, like pretty much everything in the outside world. But yeah,
The
it
cheese,
comes up. Yeah.
the cheese, the butter, the ice cream. So we detect all of the allergy. We detect all of the toxins. Like once you just look at this just vital report, it's an eye opener. It's amazing.
Yeah,
But
there's the
this is all of the vital reports right here in front of you. You can read this. So I would highly recommend you make an appointment with Laura and do this virtual voice scan, because we don't stop here. We don't just stop here. Guess what we else do? We do the comprehensive, which is the MRI. This comprehensive is identical to MRI. No need to go to any clinic or hospital to get injected with the contrast dye. That's possible carcinogen. You can do this through the voice. And this MRI It is
It
give you
showed
free.
it showed you my gut issues.
It'll show the gut issues right there without going to any hospital or clinic through the voice. It'll show leaky gut. By the way, we do have leaky gut and leaky brain. So we can fix the leaky gut with pre, pro, and postbiotics that Laura is taking now religiously, like I'm taking myself now, and taking the magnesium. This is really critical here to fix leaky gut and leaky brain because there's a gut brain axis, there's a gut brain connections. Dr. Mark Hyman talk about this a lot about functional medicine. Everything starts in the gut that affect the brain. And by the way, the gut is the boss, not the brain. So what happened in the gut is gonna fix this too. There's 9 signals from the gut to the brain and 2 signals from the brain to the gut. But there is always communication going on through brain neurotransmitters from from the gut to the brain, including cortisol. So if you want to lower cortisol now, you can just increase endorphins, beta endorphins, increase serotonin and dopamine and acetylcholine, but just increasing this endorphin, and then you're reducing your pain, reducing cortisol, and then once we go to the comprehensive scan, we detect all of this, another 100 pages of every organ in your body show you this. Laura, by the way, had only about 10 red flag. She was very healthy a year ago. Now she has only 5 red flag
I
or
have
even
4.
less. Oh,
I
okay, four.
I only have 4 pictures that come up now in the MRI.
The average person that I scan, they have 25 red flags. Laura also, when she scans somebody with chronic illness, between 25 and 30 red flag. And when she tells them, she said, "Yeah, my doctor told me that. Yeah, wow." We get lots of wows in our scan. So you know what? I've done the scan for a lady in Maryland, and she said you're only charging $250 for that scan, and you're only charging 150 for seniors and for people who are students or social security people because they cannot afford it. And she said you should increase the prices to 500 or 1,000. She done 2 MRI scan, 2 single organs in Maryland, which are 5,000 each. That's $10,000. Now, Laura, you know your body have at least 50 organs. If you do a complete MRI from head to toe, if you go to Missouri where you live and ask any clinic or hospital to do a complete MRI, what's 50 times 5,000? It's $250,000.
Too much damn money. So that,
250,000
I
in
know they wanted over 5,000 just to do an MRI on his foot.
Okay,
So
how many people do you know in Missouri who have 250,000 checking account and they go on for a complete MRI? Now we can do complete MRI for 250 bucks. Or if you are senior like me, above 65, 150. And by the way, Laura and I are very kind people. If you don't have any money and you can tell Laura, look in her eyes and tell, I don't have any money for this, you know what? I do sometimes compliment you. I'm not going to talk on behalf of Laura. That's her choice. But you know what? It's all about how many people you touch in your lifetime. Because I don't want to see any teenagers at age 18 losing their mom at age 45. That's really my mission in life. I do not drive Rolls Royce or Lamborghini. I do not have Rolex. I don't even have a watch. I just use my cell phone for that.
I only charge 97, but there are times when there are people because
Yes,
I don't ever want it to be like
yes,
you. I don't want to ever be a barrier for someone to not
exactly.
improve their health.
Yes,
So
very generous, Laura,
and,
to spend one
and
hour for
we've
97.
all been there. So if I need to do
Yeah,
something complimentary to help somebody,
yeah. You're
we
very
do that.
generous, Laura, because for $97, you get 300 pages of accurate report with no interference with contrast dye that causes cancer, with like zero side effect. I'm talking about zero. Nothing can cause any side effect here. And by the way, I ask my client to pay after I finish the scan. If they are not happy, they don't have to pay me. I had not one single client yet who refused payment or at least send me a donation if they don't have any money. But and so is Laura. What's the percent of your clients, Laura, are happy with your own virtual voice scan? Tell me the truth.
Oh, mine, I've all, they've all, well, they paid beforehand, but they've all been happy and they've been thrilled and they go telling all of their other friends or family members because they know they
Yes.
have people that have been struggling that have, they know, because I always tell people this AO voice scan is helping you listen to your body. Your body is screaming at you all the
Yes.
time, and your body is the best MRI tool you'll ever have. You just have to
100.
know how to look, how to hear it.
Yeah.
And this AO voice scan helps put a picture and put some words to it to that.
Yeah.
I get some of it can be confusing and some people can really get in the weeds, and that's not what this is designed to do. It's
Absolutely.
just designed to make you aware of some root causes that are causing things. Even okay, and a lot of people don't know this, but even emotions,
Yes.
okay, past traumas, emotions, this is where color comes into play. Everything has a frequency,
Yes.
and so there are things that raise your vibration and your frequency, which raises your endorphins, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
it's all connected. People don't realize it. I tell people, I said, there's a reason restaurants are painted a certain color. They want to make you eat
yeah,
and drink more. Spas are painted a color because you're meant to relax and just
yes,
decompress.
100%.
Um, it all comes together. So
Exactly. You had a very good point about listen to the body here, Laura. I only have three doctor, three masters, and three bachelor's degrees. Your body have 20 doctors, 20 masters, and unlimited bachelor's degrees. If you listen to your body, you know what is happening. Just listening to your body, you know what to do. Like if you're anxious, if you're stressed, if you have cortisol and you listen to your body, just laugh. And then, laughter is the best medicine. I had a client, Laura, who did not laugh for years, and he was taking three or four sometimes antidepressants, and he was for 10 years not laughing. So I asked him, when is the last time you laughed? He said, not, I can't even remember. I have a very stressful life. My boss hates me, my colleague hates me, my wife hates me, and my kids, my teenagers hate me, and I hate myself. I said, you never laughed for how many years? He said, at least 10. I said, sir, I have the prescription for you. Go home tonight, find a mirror, and just take your clothes off and look at this mirror. You're going to have the best joke in front of your eyes. And guess what? He did what you just did. He laughed and he said, oh my God, it feels lighter. It feels good. I said, that's all you need to do. And he came back after 3 months, Laura. No medications. And he's just laughing at this.
well, and you know as well as I do, you can actually fake laughing. Your body
Yes,
does not know the difference. Even if you
exactly.
did a fake laughter, your body and does not know the difference between a real one
Exactly.
and a fake one. It has the same effect.
So if we, as you mentioned, if we see emotion now, we see somebody sad, or having grief. Everybody's at a certain point in your life, you're sad, you have grief, but do not be sad or griefs for the rest of your life or for 24 hours. So this voice can detect four different emotions, and emotions can be improved by motions. But if you move, you actually by doing exercise improve endorphins, right? So
Hmm.
so motion is medicine, food is medicine, breathing is medicine. You know what? The ancient people in the world 5,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptian. By the way, the first Egyptian doctor in the world, his name is Amhotep. He was the first doctor, and came after that Hippocrates. We know from Amhotep and Hippocrates that let your food be your medicine and medicine be your food. That's what the top physicians in the world, they did not have any drugs at that time. 4,000, 5,000 years ago, they doing spices, herbs, plants. That's what they had it in their hands, and they treat people that way. Of course, they don't have any pollution. Like the air pollution was not like LA or New York at that time.
No,
It was
nothing was, but a lot of those plants still have all those healing properties when you get to know
exactly,
about them, which is why we have our
exactly.
herbalists.
Yes, but some people look at this, what Laura was just showing about emotion, and said, "Oh, this is nothing. Emotion is not. It's irrelevant." It's very relevant. Emotions, what goes in their head. Remember, it's PMS, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Okay? Whatever
Mhm.
goes here, happen here. Whatever happened here, it happens here. If you're under stress or cortisol dominant, sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, fright, and freeze, and be miserable, you can go to parasympathetic, fix your vagus nerve. Rest, relax, laugh, enjoy life. Detect. Laura and I do everything like this sometimes once every 2 weeks, once a month, to see what's happening. And you already seen how improvement she made in less than a year in her own life and her fiance life, from multiple medication to one medication.
Yeah.
And thousands of people that she has seen on her podcast. By the way, I didn't tell you, Laura is one of the podcast queen. If you don't believe me, go to her podcast with me on LinkedIn. I
It's a
have
TV show.
9,200 followers. And go on my YouTube under Academy of Wellness to see her podcast with me. And then we're going to post this podcast right now on YouTube and also on LinkedIn, and also at her Laura's website. To go to her website, book that scan to show all of the vitals report, 85, 90 pages long, comprehensive, 85, 90 pages long. And then the emotions, the voice scan, they give you the emotions in your head. It will give you the colors that you like and supports you. Really? Is the color that matters? Yes. If we don't know the color that you like, then you don't know the frequency that you like that make you happy. I'm always around the color that makes me happy. Always. Uh, you can see Laura and I are matching here. We're wearing
Purple and blues are my are
purple
my
and
main
blues.
colors. Purples and blues,
Yeah.
mostly blues. But
So,
yes,
and then Don't forget the sunshine. I just came from Punta Cana. Oh, before I went to Punta Cana. By the way, I was actually white and have blue eyes, and just
Now it's getting deep. Okay.
but I'm from a Mediterranean area, so I have very light tan. But you can see me tanned here from exposure to sunshine. I got lots of vitamin D in Punta Cana. If you ever been to the Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. Vitamin D is exposed to the sun. By the way, physician recommend only 1,000 IU. Laura and I take and recommend 10,000 IU. 10,000 IU. I had one physician call me and said, "Why are you giving my client toxic dose of vitamin D3?" I said, 10,000 is toxic dose, sir. Go to vitamindcouncil.org and Google toxicity for vitamin D. And I've been using it for 50 years, 5 decades. I have not a single case of vitamin toxicity. He called me back after half an hour. He said, "Doc, I didn't realize that you're a toxicologist. I looked at vitamindcouncil.org. I did not find a single case of chronic or acute toxicity from 10,000 IU. I'm going to start to recommend this to my clients now. I'm going to start to take between 5 and 10." I said, hallelujah. If every physician is like this, we're going to, like, seriously, if you live in California or Florida, all you got to do is just walk on the beach for 1 hour and take vitamin D also as an extra in the wintertime when you get raining or stuff. If you live in northern hemisphere like me in Ontario now, and you get 6 months in the cold weather, you don't see
he,
sun.
he goes he goes south and on vacation enough to keep up
I
his
go a lot.
vitamin D.
I travel a lot south. Absolutely, you're right. So
Yeah.
by doing the vital scan, 85 pages, comprehensive scan, 85 pages, uh, how many pages do you get with the voice scan? About another 50, 70 pages long. You
Oh,
get seven.
it's a lot. It'll kick out five. It will kick you out five full reports, including the which I think is one of the most important parts is four audio files that are
Oh,
three
this
minutes long
four
each. And
audio files are life changing, Laura.
yeah,
I
the audio files, always recommend
amazing.
that you download them on your device that you listen to music through. Listen to them in the morning before you get up and get going, at night before you go to bed. Because what they do is it has three of them that brings your three highest frequencies down and your one lowest
Yes,
one up so that you feel more balanced. So if you feel
exactly.
off during the day, listen to those audio files during the day.
You're
And I
absolutely
tell people if you don't like the tune or it bothers you for some reason, turn it all the way down. You don't have to hear it. You don't
yes.
need to hear it for
It's
frequencies and vibrations to work.
exactly.
They still work. You don't
Nothing
have
can
to
stop
hear it.
energy. Nothing can stop frequency. Laura, you're absolutely correct. I had a client in Kentucky. His blood sugar was 450, supposed to be under 100, and he was taking diabetes medication for 10 years. The lowest he would get is 375. I did the scan for him, and I told him to listen to his audio files, as Laura was talking about before bed. And I told him to soak in hot water in the hot tub with half a cup of Epsom salt and listen to audio files while you're soaking there for 15 minutes. And he did that. His first night, he has a continuous blood sugar monitoring. It was 450. Second night, 400, 350, 300, 250, 200, 150, 100. In 1 week, he has never reached 100 for 10 years. And he went to his doctor. He said, "I got to take you off all of the meds. You're going to be hypoglycemic." You took him off all of the meds. I didn't take anybody off medication. I don't do that. He took him off all of the meds. Today, his blood sugar is 90 to 95. His A1C was triple digits, 25, and today he's 5.6. The A1C is 3 months average of blood sugar. He's no longer diabetic, and he's followed all my advice for sweet potato and cinnamon. I tell him to eat this every day. He becomes sweet potato and cinnamon addict. He eats it 3 times a day. And then I told him to take something called GC control. You can ask Laura if you are diabetic about it, and berberine available. And make sure what you take is highly absorbed. Not every supplement absorbed the same. I've written, 20 books, and one of them is Natural Remedies and Supplements. On page 70 here, I have in the physician desk reference, and my name is right there. I'm not just a pretty face. My name is right there. You see that? And I
Yep.
put down the in the physician desk reference. Some supplements absorb only 5%, like the traditional synthetic supplements you get from Walmart, Amazon, or any of the other called Centrum, One A Day, and Materna. 5% absorption, 95% expensive urine. If you get high end supplements, you get 20%, 30%, 40%. The one that Laura and I take and recommend, it says 98%. We're not here to sell you any supplements. We're here to detect the root cause, to find what is happening with your PMS, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, because that's a triangle that actually make you live longer, healthier, happier, till 100 and beyond. In case of Laura, it's 120. And if God give me another 25 years to live to 100, I'll be having more than 80,000 clients, hopefully, and I'll serve more clients in my lifetime here by detecting the root cause and switching them from stress mode, cortisol, sympathetic to parasympathetic to fix their vagus nerve, and by detecting the root cause through this virtual voice scan, which I believe every doctor in the world will be using this within 15, 20 years. Just watch me. If I'm still around, remind me now that is going to happen, because this is the easiest way to detect the root cause. So Laura and I are pioneers this, and so other thousands of doctors across the world now using it. So when you hear this message here, do not hesitate. Just contact Laura and do the scan. I am very difficult to get hold of me. I'm very busy with 80,000 clients. So you're going to find more luck getting an appointment with Laura than myself. So, but go to academyofwellness.com and complete all of the lifestyle quiz. Look at the blogs. I have on the blogs 370 blogs. And about us, there's all of the information about us, what I've been doing for the past 5 decades. You can read more about me if you want to know more about me and so on, my colleagues and our team and so on. So I'm very proud of Flora for what she's done in under a year. She has improved her life, improved the life of her fiance, the life of thousands of people that she works with on podcasts all over the world. She is a very well known podcaster, very well experienced in this, and she can see how she picks all of the information in my head. By the way, I do not have any script. We don't have any script. I didn't memorize any of the stuff. I just going now from answering her questions. And Laura, you and I have the same MVP: mission, vision, and purpose. It's to
Yes,
help
we do.
people living longer, healthier, happier. And I use my 6L for that. It's live, learn, laugh, and let go, and leave a legacy. If every one of
And
us,
love.
and love, I forgot love.
Love. That
Love
love
is
is your
number
number
one.
6. You forgot number 6.
Yes, I love loving yourself and loving others. Love can never fail. Absolutely, Laura. Thank you for reminding me. So, you know what? Simple tips here that can help people, and make your food be your medicine, and make your medicine be your food, and laugh as much as you can, love as much as you can, and forgive as much as you can. You know what? It's simple tips that you live, Laura and I live with it every single day, and our days are happier, healthier with friends, family, relatives, and so on. So, any concluding questions or remarks, Laura?
No, I think you and I know can go on for quite a while, and we already went over what we intended to. So,
Yes.
um, I, I just want everybody to know our point is like he said, our mission, vision, and purpose is the same. We want people to be able to live healthier, holistically, longer. Let them know that they have options out there. We're there to support them. I will put all the links in the description on the video. You can get a hold of Dr. Grant's. Yeah, he's got plenty. He has lots of books that you can get a hold of him from. But I'll also put, his contact information. So if you have a question, you can ask him, because an email would be best for him to answer. But we're just here to help, and we're happy to help. So I want to thank you for taking the time to go over all this with me. I've had a lot of people. I've done well over 100 scans since you and I have started, and yeah, people are normally quite amazed. Some people still don't believe it or don't want to believe it, and that's fine. That's your choice. Just know it is an option, and it's something we can do, and it's a lot less painful than having a needle put in your arm, put in your arm to have blood work pulled. It's just your
Yeah.
voice. And
But Laura,
it can be done over Zoom. We do it over Zoom
yeah,
all the time. I do it with people in other countries, and
yeah.
you don't. It's not something you have to walk into an office for.
You can do it on Zoom, you can do it on WhatsApp, you can do it by phone even. Just we need the voice frequency through their voice. But you know what, Laura? If people listen actively, active listening to all of your recommendations and act by it and do the deep belly breathing, drink the water, have their body ounce in water per day, which is between 2 and 3 liters for the average person per day, and then eat a healthy food, no junk food, of course, no smoking, no alcohol, the common stuff that we already know. It's all about the lifestyle quiz, 10 questions. If everybody do this, there is no more skeptics here, Laura. We make
Yeah.
people believers in this, because if they actually did the lifestyle quiz, and let's say they are 50%, like my average clients here, and they follow all of the advice, and next month they do lifestyle quiz, and now they're 60%, and the following month they're 70%. So if you do your lifestyle, I know your initial lifestyle quiz was high because you were very healthy in the beginning, but now you're close to 90%, which means, like my athletes, I work with the top athletes in the world, and they must score 90%. So get ready now, Laura, to compete in the Boston Marathon very soon, okay?
I don't know about that one, but anyway. So, and again, Dr. Grant, I really want to thank you for taking the time, and for everybody here, thank you for joining us. I will put the banner back up here real quick. So, academyofwellness.com, you'll see his lifestyle blogs and the lifestyle IQ on there. Highly recommend you go to do that. The other links that you can connect with us if you wish to have an AO scan done or you want more information, I will have that in the description on the video. So, thank you so much.
Before you go, tell them your website, Laura, where you can go and book the scan. Tell them right now.
Oh, yeah, whitesandselfcare.com. You can go to my website. You'll see the AO scan there and you can and book it right there. You can also book a strategy call or just call to connect with me and talk with me as well. It's all on the website.
And when you book the scan with Laura, tell her Dr. Grant referred me. Okay,
Or just say you saw our video.
exactly.
Dr. Grant and I work together for a lot of things, so we're happy to help. But I hope everybody has a wonderful and a healthy, happy rest of your week, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate